Chris, you and I were arguing on X in private about the Tonga Twins possibly coming into WWE. And, you had pointed out to me that one of them had said in an interview or on X on socials, they said, like, the only way we'll go to AEW is if
let's put a cork in first the Tonga Twins because they're just. I mean, they're so raw. They're not even on the radar. Let me first get to SmackDown because.
Well, I was just going to ask you the women's tag division here. Like we see it shaping up more, and that was sort of my argument.
It's awful. I mean, it's awful. I mean, and look, it's an awful division. And look, but talent's great. I love the talent SmackDown has. It's just sort of like. The slow burn is basically Jade versus Bianca, and they're trying not to rush it because that's basically the big play. Eventually, it's going to be who turns on who.
Yeah,
but they don't want to burn that. Look, I don't think the tag team is just basically dead. Nobody really cares about it. The Triple H hasn't cared about it because they haven't defended it. I mean, this is now been since WrestleMania. They haven't defended the PLE. There hasn't been a tag title defense at any of the PLEs. I mean, SummerSlam wasn't defended. Backlash wasn't defended.
Right.
It
was only defended.
Well, they won them in at the Clash there. So
yes,
I'm just saying
it was basically because it was like, let's get all the Scots in there. So it was like, hey, let's get all our Scottish women on the card. That was it. I mean, outside of that, I mean, the men's haven't been defended. When has Judgment Day defended their tag titles on any of the PLEs? Like, they haven't. Like, when has DIY defended any of their titles or A-Town? They haven't. They don't.
Yeah, but they're usually reserved for like the big match for the go home show, which like Gunther did that for a while too. Now look at him. People were saying the same thing about the IC title. Oh, another PLE.
The IC titles were always defended on PLEs though. I mean, that was a big thing. Like the tag titles, they don't care. There's always been like,
My whole thing is this, Chris Connor, the Tonga, they need more goddamn, unless they just get rid of these belts. We need to see more teams fleshed out. Exactly as you said, the slow burn. Eventually, Jade and Bianca are going to split up. I could see us getting iterations of Naomi and Bianca or Naomi and Jade, whatever. But ultimately, they need more tag teams. But
where are you going to put them? Like, I'll say bring the Tonga Twins in there. Where are you going to put these people? You already have like way too many people on SmackDown.
In NXT. They're already at
but you already have more people on NXT. You have 240 people on this roster. There's not much room. It's not like you can like add more people and like get rid of people. It's overflow.
But yeah, you can, man, because people leave. Like Lashley's a free agent as of today,
you're leaving. Lashley's gone, but you still have like Charlotte Flair is coming back. You're adding on, Lucha Bros. They're coming back. Oh, by the way, Alexis Bliss is coming back. So you're losing one, but you're adding four. There's too many friggin' people.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? And the Tonga Twins would just be an NXT.
They're not good. They are not good. I've seen
They'll
them.
get
They're not good.
Yeah.
So time.
Yeah, but the problem, Chris, is that you're saying right now. We're not saying right now they'll be teleported main roster this Monday. We're saying give them 6 months to a year.
Oh,
they already have a foundation. Lexus King wasn't good either. Now look at him. He's decent. He's good. He's growing. He's getting good.
Was more ahead than they are. Yeah.
Lexus King was good, man. What you talking about?
Well, listen. No. Hold on. In AEW, he wasn't like, he's not blowing anybody away. And in NXT, he's not blowing anybody away either. His character work is what's getting him more over than anything. And his willingness to go do stuff in, like, he's doing good work in like Reality of Wrestling, but there's a reason he's there doing extra work and not just in NXT, guys. Like, there's a reason for that, so I'm not on him at all. Like, no one's put him over more than me. But what I'm trying to tell you is in 6 months, the Tonga Twins in a year, in 9 months, they couldn't be ready to have a tag team title run with and then Ava Raine could manage them when she eventually goes up because she's
I'm
the Rock's
telling you,
daughter.
no.
Or in NXT,
No.
Okay, yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I don't. Have you seen the Tonga Twins? Have you ever seen like a match?
Yes,
with them?
bro. Yes.
How
and I see them getting in great shape right now too. That's what people do before they go to WWE as well. They start yada up, and I feel like
you've seen like one picture of them going, "Oh yeah, we're here."
No, that's
WWE
not it.
thing.
No. It's not one picture. There's been multiple times, and then where they've been at the PC. They were at the PC, and then someone in the chat actually pointed out to me how they were actually in the background during a segment during NXT or something. Like they were sitting in the a common area, just chilling as background characters as well. So it's not just I'm talking out of my ass. And then they have videos of them getting they're working out more. Hikuleo, where's he? Well, he's getting in great shape. Where did Tonga go before he debuted? Look at what Jacob did. He was getting in great shape.
Oh, don't compare Hikuleo to a Tonga.
No, I am. No, I'm not comparing Hikuleo. I'm comparing the fact that Hikuleo's where is he right now? He's getting in that WWE shape, bro. Where did Jacob go?
Hikuleo was a New Japan champion.
Where did Jacob go?
Signed.
Where did Jacob go? No. I'm not comparing accolades Stop. Because you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not comparing accolades or stature in skill or anything like that. What I'm comparing is when you go to WWE, you get bodied up and then you sort of disappear for a bit. And typically you get spotted around the PC. That's what has been happening with the Tonga Twins. They left WoW out of nowhere. They sort of little off the map, all of a sudden they're popping up around the PC. Now we're seeing videos of them training hard. And all I'm saying is that what did Jacob Fatu do? He's in the greatest shape of his life right now because he went away right before they brought him in. He went and got on that AJ Styles diet.
That's the opposite. They had announced they had signed Jacob Fatu and then, yes, by the way, same with Hikuleo. They have not announced that they have signed the Tonga Twins.
I know, that's why I never said they're signed. I'm just saying, though, if you think it's on the table, why wouldn't you?
Because I don't think
they never announced they signed Ethan Page either, but he still showed up. So
Ethan Page showed up, though, literally almost his contract ended, then the next day he's there. It's there's a huge difference between these people.
Right.
I'm telling you, the Tonga Twins, there have been rumors of they were bullies. They had backstage issues. Yeah. They don't fit the mold of what what WWE is looking for.
My God, that's what people said about Punk, bro, and also the Tonga.
Punk, there's a whole huge difference of
that.
Punk makes money. We're not going into this. Punk was a guy who you looked at and went, okay, well, Punk makes money, so let's take a risk on a guy who can make the money. The Tonga Twins are two people who have no track record, who basically maybe shot their way out of WoW, who you're not sure if they can do anything. Yeah, let's take a risk on this. No, I'm sorry.
There's no risk. There's no risk.
Yes, there is a risk.
Train them at the PC. It's just train them at the PC.
Oh God,
that's the risk. Train them at the PC.
You're basically going, they're Tongans, so therefore,
no. You're saying that you think I think that I'm saying bring them in on $1 million.
No, there's all these people who are they're Tongans,
hold on,
therefore they're part of the bloodline. So let's bring them in here. I'm telling you guys right now,
you're saying though, you're acting like I'm saying bring them in on $1 million contracts and
no, I'm just telling you,
Charlotte. It's that's not what I'm saying.
If you are WWE, you are signing people because right now everybody you bring in, it's a spot. You basically have limited spots here.
But you need women's tag teams. Why do they still?
Because you have enough people. This is how they do a women's tag team. Well, you and you, we're gonna throw you together. There, you're a tag team.
Yeah, but that's literally what you do. That doesn't last.
How so? That's what they did.
Because that's why it's the divisions in the state it's in.
I know. That's how they got the current women's.
So how do you get out of there? You either absolve them or
so that's what you do. You absolve them. That's what they literally do. They could basically go, well, you know what? We're just gonna get rid of these tag teams. Okay. That's all they're gonna do with this.
I think they are purposefully forming more and more women's factions because they are going to start distinctly showcasing distinct women's tag teams like Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Unholy Union, like the Tonga Twins. They want women who are come in as tag teams the way the Hardy Boys came in. I think they're going to focus on that and lean into the fact they have women's tag divisions and women's wrestling with the influx of women talent there are. And I don't think they're going to lean away from that and just absolve these belts and go, we'll just throw these two bitches together. Ha ha, pal. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're leaning into the tag teams, and I think signing the Tonga Twins to a developmental contract would be a brilliant move because they're prospects. They're not. Sorry, Marie, what are your thoughts? We're just yelling at each other. What do you think?
It's fine. You guys keep doing that. I just want to add one thing because I'm not getting into this. Yesterday, Triple H had tweeted out that they have now created a WWE Speed Women's Championship title.
Boom.
So there's going to be a tournament, maybe a tournament for that. I don't know what Triple H really wants to do, but he announced that yesterday.
Yeah, it's a speed tournament. It's a speed tournament. Yeah.
So basically, we're going to crown a new women's champion to represent WWE Speed for all of Twitter/X because
and they brought in the Women's North American Championship on NXT. I see them expanding and leaning into the fact, no, we need more tag teams. How do you expand women's tag team wrestling? You don't just throw women together. I've been saying it for a year and a half on this pod. You need real girls to come in that are like the Bella Twins. I want the Rockers, but they're girls. I want to see a tag team come in that are like the Dudley Boys, but they're chicks. And I'm not saying like steal the gimmick, but I'm saying just like a tag team. Like there's no real women's tag teams. In TNA, they had a handful of them.
Let me ask you this question. Just a quick question. Yeah. Where are you fitting all these people? I mean, because we all have these great ideas, but then you look and it's like you have 3 hours of Raw, you have 2 hours of SmackDown. You're trying to fit in.
You have NXT. By the way, you have NXT Level Up, and then you have.
Forget Level Up because nobody really cares about that. I'm talking about.
But it's not that nobody cares about it. It doesn't matter that nobody cares about it because they're getting reps in. So we clown Collision.
Please let me finish.
Okay. Sorry.
So you have 3 hours of, as I said, Raw. You have SmackDown, and then you have NXT, and each of them are separate. You're trying to cram in all these people, and you're barely having enough time because you have to reserve X amount of time for your main acts, your Cody Rhodes, your Roman Reigns, your CM Punks, your Drew McIntyres. They get X amount of time. Then you factor in, your Gunther's, your Damian Priest, you don't have enough time. You want to know why they're doing all these, three ways, there's 6-man tags. There's just not enough time. Triple H is literally looking, going, okay, how the hell am I going to try to squeeze in,
It won't be squeezed in. And I can explain why. Because this is the whole thing. Because you do have Level Up, that does matter. Also, NXT runs its own little like house show loops, and then also you have the fact that they're sending talent out all over the world now, and then they're working with TNA. We see our boy in the N1 right now, which shut up Marie for bringing that up on the show. And thank you, George Captor, for the super chat. It's called developmental for a reason, Mr. Connor. Exactly. They're going to need time to develop them. But we see the talent. They're spreading out now, and they're working with different companies. And there will be time for everyone. Like you're saying, they can't squeeze everyone in. And here's the thing, though. People are going to come and people are going to go. That's ultimately the thing at the end of the day, too. It's not like it's an overbloated. They're just signing all of these random people. And a lot of these NIL signings, we don't see them for a year or two. I
understand that, but who's leaving? Like what?
I don't know, bro. That's what I'm not a psychic. I don't know who's leaving, but someone will leave.
Here's the problem with, I credit this to our mutual friend, Ward Dog Kevin Apollo. It's one thing to send NXT kids who, aren't maybe some of the bigger people, like Potato Paxley's, Xylon Quinn's, Dante Chen's to NXT. That's great. It's another thing to send in maybe like an Natalia Neidhart, maybe a AJ Styles. They haven't done that yet because that's a whole separate thing. Those are different contracts. Shawn Michaels is willing to send NXT kids. Triple H hasn't been willing to send over yet any of the SmackDown or Raw people to TNA. That's a whole different beast. I don't know if he's willing to do that. Those are different contracts. That involves NXT. That includes Netflix. That includes now Peacock, NBC, or still Fox. Are they going to be willing to share toys? Like, you and I have covered this with boxing and MMA. It's a whole different thing when you put in networks. They don't like sharing people. They don't like sharing profits. Right. They don't like giving up the toys. It's a whole, it's a whole different beeswax when you're bringing in different networks going, oh, well, yeah, we're going to now give this guy to this network and and also,
I get all that. I get all that. But they're going to Netflix. They could do a 4-hour Raw. They could Netflix could go, we're bringing back Saturday night main event.
Yeah, I don't know if we haven't heard do all that. I doubt Netflix is gonna do 4 hours worth of Raw.
They can. What I'm saying is that it doesn't have to be a time limit now. It doesn't have to be 3. It could go 2.5. It could go 4.5 one night. It could go like that's the beauty of them going on Netflix. Raw could be like, we're gonna have an Iron Man match. And it's going to last an hour, and we're on Netflix, so it don't goddamn matter that we're going past the top there. You know what I mean? They can do all those sorts of things, and there'll be room, and Netflix will expand. They'll have shows. I bet they'll have a little. You think they're like this whole speed tournament? They're doing shows on Twitter now, dude. They're going to find the space. Like people smarter than you and I are going, and you're incredibly intelligent, Chris Connor. So people smarter than you and I are going to figure out how to put all the bodies that need to be there. Chris Connor, you and I were debating heavily about, Jacob Fatu, like publicly, like we were on X there sort of going back and forth about his injury and he was spotted wearing a boot, et cetera, et cetera. I think I was right about the Jacob Fatu handing the belt because now with the whole kayfabe Fatu knee injury, which we'll get into in a minute, Chris Connor, I know you want to jump all over me for that, but I said this is a way where he could just give the belt over to God, like Freebird style, and they can just say he's the tag champ. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, that is GOD's Gorillas of Destiny, for those who don't know. And then Jacob he can just like pass the belt along because for whatever reason, Tonga Loa has not been able to wrestle, but he's been able to be physical. So I don't know what that is. That's why they fake gouged his eye. So Jacob Fatu, right, at SummerSlam, he dives off the ropes, goes through the announce table, grabs his leg. He's selling. Apparently, he hurt his leg. He's spotted wearing a boot at a grocery store. Chris Connor and I got into it a little bit on X about Corey Graves says Jacob Fatu is out due to injury. And my response is it's kayfabe. They can't have Jacob killing Roman or looking weak by being beat up by Roman. They also had Loa holding one of the tag titles, just as I called it. Jacob's going to come back, and that's going to be the real difference maker to where Roman will need to call upon the Usos or whoever else. Maybe Hikuleo comes. Who knows? Because Hikuleo is like taller than the rest of these dudes. You guys got to understand, he's even taller than Roman. So if he gets real jacked up, he's going to come in and like really be a difference maker as far as like he could be the guy that Roman's like, nah, this is my guy who can fight Jacob. And you'd go, okay, he's even bigger than Roman, So that I think is the direction they're going to go. I have been wrong about this. Who knows? That's just my prediction, right? But this is kayfabe, guys. Same with Logan Paul's injury. Logan Paul is kayfabe injured. And that's because he's not on TV all the time. He just dropped his title. I floated it out there. I heard rumors he might be trying to take on a boxing man. I don't really know how much validity there is to that, but I think he is just really focused on the wrestling, but I think he is just banged up from getting ready for this match, as well as he just dropped the belt and he's not going to be on TV all the time. You can't expect him to be. And it's actually impressive how much TV Logan Paul really does do, because he'll even do just like run-ins where he jumps LA Knight and then dips out before a commercial break, So that's been cool, but he just needs some time off. With Jacob, it's a little different. So Jacob Fatu, he has to work this injury because just like I tweeted out here, Roman's returning. So what was Roman going to think about this SmackDown? And then what was Roman going to do? Kill Jacob as well? After Jacob's just been killing everyone? They can't do that. They have to have him away for a little bit so that when he returns, Roman's actually like, oh, because we saw on SmackDown, he just bodied the GODs all on his own and solo as well, more or less. And it was a triumphant finish to SmackDown. Roman was so over when he was doing the ooh-ahs for the spears. The crowd was just at 150%. Your boy Solo was the one who had emotional damage because he saw Roman and he had a look on his face like he shit a brick. And then, yeah, basically they just couldn't have Jacob running out. Jacob was spotted wearing a boot on his leg at a grocery store. You know, Tony Khan can wear a neck brace to the NFL draft. Jacob Fatu can wear a boot to the grocery store or the 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? That's not that crazy of a thing. And yeah, that is my prediction, or not my prediction. That is it's what it is. And Jim Cornette actually agrees with me. So we'll play that clip in a second. But Marie Shadows, I want your opinion on it. You've actually interviewed Jacob Fatu. You've actually talked to the damn man personally. He's gone out of his way. You told a beautiful story. Your thoughts, is he really hurt or not?
So I'm going to half agree with you, right? Because technically it should be kayfabe. However, when I saw Jacob fly off the top rope and like hit Cody on the announce table, you can see that his shin like hits it like really, really bad. So I think it's half kayfabe and half being bruised, not broken, just bruised, because I know that should like hurt him like 100%. And then the boot kind of reinforces that he's just healing from it. Also, I do agree that like if Jacob did show up yesterday on SmackDown and go against Roman, that would have been a very bad thing. Because right now we want to make Roman look like the strong babyface. So why not have him go after Tama Aloha? It makes perfect sense. So keeping him off of television was a good idea. But ultimately, I'm half and half. I half think that it's kayfabe and half think that he bruised it. He might need to just like take a couple days just to heal it, and then he'll be back to being his monster self.
What say you, Chris Connor? You were saying here, like I can show what you were saying down below. You're just like, I hope so, but the fact he was walking in a boot ain't good. Might also be the fact Bad Blood is in Germany and Jacob would have visa issues. That's a really good point too. That's a really good point. But then it's kayfabe. We got a kayfabe hurt him, so he can't go to Germany and he can't beat up Roman. It seems perfectly sensical to me.
I mean, I hate kayfabe because it's kayfabe is just like, oh yeah, well, yeah, he's right. He's not hurt. He's hurt. Is it serious? I don't know. Probably not like, well, he's going to be out for several months. I think it's one of those things where it wasn't great. He got hurt. Is it probably as bad as they think? Probably not. Is it something where they're going to take it, probably, week by week because he's a big guy and they don't want to aggravate it? Sure. Did they call an audible? Probably. Bad Blood. Hey, you know what? Let's just play it by ear because, hey, it's Germany. If he misses it, well, no big deal because, hey,
great point.
But look, I was going to bring this up earlier. You start looking around and, man, that was kind of a weak SmackDown because you realize without Logan Paul and without the Bloodline, they really lacking a lot of over heels because outside of those two, who is there? They don't have anybody really. I mean, Legado Fantasma doesn't really do anything that much. Hopefully, and I love El Hijo del Fantasma now. I mean, he's a fantastic worker, but most people have they've been cold, unfortunately, and Andrade, is he a babyface? Is he a heel? We're not sure. Carmelo, he's been, unfortunately, just on a losing streak.
Andrade's babyface. But you're
right.
And
now they're doing the Kevin Owens. Well, I really don't deserve it, but, well, you're tricking me to do it, so all right, I'll challenge Cody because we got nobody else. That's literally really why they're doing it.
But I think that's a great thing to do for Bash in Berlin because that whole thing's the focal point will be Gunther. It won't be Cody anyways. And so I feel like instead of just having, because Roman's back, so let Roman deal with bloodline affairs. Cody is still in that mix a bit, but can he just have a match where there's not someone jumping him or trying to beat him up? Like, can he just have a goddamn match where it's, I'm okay with these in situations. Like I hate face versus face and heel versus heel and stuff. You guys know that. Your boy Phil harps on it all the time. But what I'm telling you is that in this situation, I go, it's actually perfect for this Bash in Berlin to just have and then Kevin do it, and then once Kevin loses to him, either like because then that's like done. Like now we're like, okay, Kevin's not going for the WWE title right now. He tried, he lost, he didn't even really want to. Then his focus can go on world heavyweight title maybe after Randy, or we'll see. But that whole card is like about Gunther and Randy more than it is Cody. And I think it's actually just smart business-wise to do it this way. And it's just a little like side quest in the big picture of what's going on, in my opinion. So this one doesn't offend me too much. But you guys know I hate when they do faces versus faces and heels versus heels. Sorry, Marie, what are you trying to say?
No, man, I'm agreeing with you because I said the same thing earlier on my show when I talked about Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. It wasn't like on the list of like number one, yeah, this should happen. But I think sometimes in wrestling and doing wrestling shows and building up to the new pay-per-view in a new country that may not feature the Golden Boy Cody Rhodes, it's okay for him to have like a very soft sort of match. He doesn't need to have a rematch with Solo because we're not in the Vince era, even though sometimes Triple H might do rematches. You know, it's okay for Cody to have like a nice one-off with Kevin Owens and see where that goes and see what happens. But Bash in Berlin is definitely going to have Gunther as the main focal point. So it's okay. You know, it's not what I want, but it's fine. I don't want them to rush another Cody versus Cody versus Solo, or like Roman versus Cody. Like that should all be slow burn, you know?
I'm in the minority here, but I didn't like how Roman made both GODs and Solo look weak. Exactly. Now, and I'm okay with it a little bit just because the idea is like Loa's kind of hurt and had his eye gouged out, and Solo wasn't expecting, like, he is the little bruv and all that. So like you have to have, like, they're gonna get theirs on Roman, trust me. Jacob's gonna murder Roman soon, but it's gonna happen like slow burn, just as Marie was saying, right? So now imagine what you're saying, but then also Jacob's there and he just hits Jacob with the stairs. Nah, dude, they planned that injury. They can't have him there right now because if Roman's going to kill everyone, you can't have Jacob killing everyone too, right? It's like if Bronson Reed on Raw, he kills Seth Rollins with the tsunami splashes, and then Gunther comes out and kills a guy with his three big splashes. You'd be like, what the, you know? So can't have two guys doing the same thing or make either of them look weak. So that's my opinion on that. And I agree with you. It's not good they did that, but they have to, man. Did you hear the crowd? They wanted that so bad, man. Roman was just ooh-ahing all over the place. They were behind him. OTC, the whole building, man. The ones were up the whole time. The place exploded. You're talking about a company right now. You got Cody, and then Roman just got over Roman and John Cena's about to come in for another run. Like, what the? Oh, my God. It's like too much. I'm yeeting all over the place. Sorry, go ahead.
I like to comment on Jimmy's thing. I will say this though, that I don't think the new Bloodline is having a hard time getting over because the crowd is at least making noise. If the crowd didn't make noise and didn't turn Roman babyface as soon as Solo took over, then we would have had a problem. They're getting over in their own way, which is it's in a very chaotic way. It's not like, you know, Roman being at the head of the table guiding the OG Bloodline and doing what, you know, he did for all those years. This new Bloodline, people are booing. People are like, Solo, you suck. You know, we want Roman. Like, I haven't experienced that until, like, you know, this year in this era. So I do think that they are getting over. They're not really having a hard time because people are reacting. But I don't think that Roman, I mean, yeah, maybe to a degree that Roman made God and Solo to look weak, but you have to understand that, like, for weeks, Solo wanted people to acknowledge him as the tribal chief, and he was forcing it. So, you know, of course he has to like run away when the actual tribal chief comes through. It's like, you know, if you have a sibling and they try to act all big and bad, and when you confront them, they're like, oh no, I'm going to go over there and try to be safe. The other thing too is that, like, the way that the new Bloodline has been dismantling Cody is because Cody is the ultimate babyface, even though he has that Homelander in him and he could turn that on. But sometimes someone like Cody who understands the business has to make, you know, the new Bloodline look strong. until the rightful person can come in and kick all their asses.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Like that's the thing. I don't think their momentum's killed because they just destroyed and ran over everyone. They had like Tama Tonga came in and he had Orton and he was fighting Orton and he had Kevin Owens bloodied up and they're chomping dudes' heads and Jacob's taking out the tag champs on his own. Like Roman can come in and whoop some ass all fired up, looking in the best shape of his life. You're going to see them get back on him too. Like Roman's going to get his back, and then Jacob's going to come in, destroy Roman. Then we're going to see Hikuleo. Where is he? It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for it all with the Jacob Fatu thing. So I want to shoot over to Jimmy Cornette over here. Shout out Jim Cornette. Don't pull us. Shout out Brian Last. He's going to explain it better than I can as far as like how and why. Like Jim can spot it. If I'm spotting it and I think I'm spotting it, but I'm stupid, and then I hear Jim Cornette review it and he goes, no, yeah, he's kayfabing that. Or he goes, or maybe it comes out he was hurt, but it's not as bad as they hype it up or whatever. That's exactly where I'm at with it. We already covered it, but just to circle back to this, here's Jim's thoughts. This is a great take from him. And I mean, he agrees with your boy Phil. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, the werewolf. Oh, it's the werewolf. It's the werewolf. Wolfman Jack.
Is that Wolfman Jack? Yeah, what are you doing?
That's who it is. That's what Jacob Fatu sounds like. He sounds like Wolfman Jack.
Oh my God.
Playing Mounds of said, you got the money, honey, I got the time. And Fatu levels Cody Rhodes and hits the springing moonsault and puts Solo on top of Cody. 2 count. Holy. So then Solo says to Fatu, put him through the table. And Fatu puts Cody on the announce desk, clears it off. Who puts their desk back together?
Dude, when he was saying this part, he just said it. Who puts the announce desks back together? Now, as a fan, I've wondered that forever. Cornette worked there and he's asking the question. So damn it. I'm like, damn, mystery not solved yet. Shoot. Usually he has the insight on that. So I don't know. This next little bit's funny here.
I saw the desk cleared off at least 3 times, right? And then the next time somebody goes to do it, all the monitors are back, the notes, the wiring, everything's right there. They sweep it all off again. Do they have a desk reassembler side? Or do you think each announcer has to?
They do, I guarantee.
Fend for themselves.
You grab a leg and I grab a leg? No, they have to have someone there.
Yeah, no, just the staff. It's just the staff. That's so funny. It's just like the ring crew, They just have people who do all the around the ring,
Oh,
Yeah.
You grab a leg and I grab a leg, honey. You grab a leg and I grab a leg. So he cleared off the desk of the thing, and he goes to the top rope and he splashes Cody through the table. But instantly, Jacob Fatu grabs his left leg. I believe it was his left leg. And he's screaming, and he did an incredible job of selling it. It looks like he's either had a leg broken or broken somebody's leg before.
Probably both.
Probably.
Because he did a fantastic sell job. Many people were convinced that he was goddamn tough.
Well, apparently he was seen around today in a walking boot.
And I'm proud of him for that too.
Exactly. You just slap a boot on. It's easy.
That's the modern day equivalent of the neck brace. Because, maybe we're going to find out that he broke a bone or two. But what I'm saying is there was a need, because of what was going to happen next, for Jacob Fatu to be rendered in compos mentis, rendered irrelevant there. They couldn't, with the push they're giving him and the build they're giving him, they couldn't have somebody else take him out that would destroy his aura of danger and potential invincibility, but they couldn't have him up and about for what was about to go on. And what is the perfect compromise? He hurts himself in the act of hurting someone else.
Boom. Right there. Air horns. So yeah, Jim gets it, obviously, and that's that's all I was saying, is that I just don't think I just think it makes more sense that they needed him off TV
Yeah.
now. And then also that night too, because when I was tweeting out my argument, it was like I didn't even think about, oh yeah, and at SummerSlam, what would have happened if Roman came in? Because he kind of beat them up there too, right? And then Jacob's there. What would have happened? He just spears Jacob, and then Jacob rolls out and just sells it and runs away. Like, nah, you can't do that. They have to like kayfabe break his leg or whatever. Makes the most sense to me. And WWE's just operating on another level.